I have a serious question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you rather have? A tiny apartment with a 5-minute walk to work, or a huge house with an hour commute?
Ladder.
How huge is this house?
Where
This size.
Where do I live?
Doesn't really matter.
It does.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does.
Because if it's New York City, I'll take the small apartment.
No. It's an hour commute. Don't worry about how far, but it's an hour commute, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, then Jared already is the ladder because he's an hour from Dallas.
Yeah, but his commute is here. Is upstairs.
Yeah.
My commute.
Well, okay.
My commute.
Or to the
Let's to
kitchen
be
table.
fair, it's to the airport, right? Okay. Would you right or no?
No, your work commute on
No,
a
no, no.
regular basis
Yeah,
Let's-
it is here. Is
No, no,
upstairs.
no.
is to our table.
No. Hang on.
If
So
I listen to me, if
your kids are 5 minutes away, and you're in a tiny apartment. Your kids are an hour away, and you're in a huge house.
We've done both.
okay, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Always wanted to live in New York City, 5-minute walk. But if I lived in New York City and I had kids, hour commute.
Okay. So it's kids are the factor then.
Yeah, kids, schools.
See, I'm kind of
Playgrounds
having
and
that
shit.
problem now because I live alone now.
Yeah.
I'd still I could just go live like across the street from my office right now.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I don't
Do
know
you
if I'm
own?
just Yeah, I own.
So it's what is that considered? A townhome? Condo?
It's a townhome and I own it. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I would, if I were you, and in
Is
your
commute how long
situation
is
or
your
whatever.
commute?
I mean, it's if I leave early, which I do, it's about 40 minutes.
Where do you? Is it
But
downtown?
if it's in regular 9 to 5 traffic, it's an hour, maybe a little bit more.
Dude, there's no way I'd be doing that. No way. And plus, you could. If I were you, I don't know. I don't know. We'd have to talk finances too, like what it is versus. I mean, like,
I think I have a pretty good idea.
can you make a little bit of money on what you're in right now? Are we done with the whole ex-wife?
Oh,
thing?
I'm gonna make good money off of it. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. So you would make good money off of
Yeah,
it.
so
And
you find
you
a place out there that'd be badass and comfortable. But
Yeah. And even if you rented for a while or whatever, while you're figuring out what it is
I'm
you're gonna do,
almost halfway in equity. Like
so
almost.
that's just it. It's like, dude, you could go.
So why wouldn't you
could-
just find, like, do you work in Dallas?
Actually no. I'm over half in equity.
Why
work
wouldn't you go that way? Just while
But
all
not
this,
all the way.
all this stuff is up in the air. Like, why not rent a place
I
for a
don't know.
little while?
I think it's just
Do you
because
work in Dallas?
So I work at the Tollway and Northwest Highway. That's my cross.
Okay, all right. Well,
Preston
yeah.
Center
So I
area.
do half of that, taking the kids to school
Well,
every
couldn't
day.
you
Like
feasibly
Addison
just,
area?
like, yeah, couldn't you feasibly just get a freaking apartment and, like,
I'm not gonna get an apartment because that's just
not
throwing
an
money
apartment,
away.
but like an awesome, cool.
Like I could do a condo in a
You
building.
condo.
But you
you
could.
could do that in freaking Frisco or like the new Plano Colony area where all that shit's really cool
You
and still
could
be really
live
close.
in Addison so cheaply though, and just like I know I never wanted to rent either, but if you rented for say like 6 months a year and just rented and just like you were able to walk around to some nightlife and just hang out and just be like have social interaction.
With who? I don't know
People.
anyone in Addison.
That's what I'm saying. There's just people there.
yeah.
It's Addison. You just walk out
I'm
your
so
building.
stuck. And this is this is
feel
an
like
actual
you're-
thing that I wrestle in my head
Yeah.
all the time. I'm like I'm Mr. Dad. I live in the suburbs, and
Yeah.
all my friends are married with kids in the suburbs, and that's just my
but your,
life.
But your kids are grown, dude.
But I'm single. And my kids are not in the house.
Yep.
Why am I out here?
I agree. I think
because it's nice and it feels nice to be in a nice place.
It's comfort. It's a comfort level. It totally
it's
is.
a nice place. If you were to date, it's cool to bring them back there. It looks like you got your shit together.
Yeah, I
all
got
that.
my. Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
the
some.
zebra pillow's
But
questionable,
listen
but
to
everything
me,
else is cool.
dude, fuck all that. Take the money. If you invest that money with all the other shit that is happening in your life right now, go rent an apartment like in the thick
I'm
of
not
shit.
gonna rent. I would buy a condo.
Okay, so you go buy a condo.
Well, he meant just to like try it out for a while.
I'm
until
just
No, I'm not
saying
gonna
that,
try
like,
it out.
because I think you may want to move back. I'm saying that you.
Yeah,
you
if
may-
I settle down with someone else,
That's what
maybe.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
like don't go buy is what I'm saying. Like why not go rent for a year and see like what you just said. Like you're single.
Well,
so
if
let's
I
see.
left, I would just rent it out, make money
Okay.
off of it.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Okay. But I do think you're right, man. I think that's crazy. Fucking move 5 minutes from work.
Come
Yeah.
out to the country where I'm at.
P.S. Addison is dope. It's so cool now, and like
I
that's
know.
where Coulter and Ezekiel were living and shit. And oh my God, like those dudes were like walking out their door every day, and there's a coffee shop you go to, you see the same people every day. See,
Yeah, they found their own little bar, and
every time I date, I'm like, okay, this girl could be the one, and if it is, why would I want to be living? I would want to be living where married people live.
I think actually, if you move down there, you might not do that all the time because you really are guilty.
True,
you really are guilty of that.
Plus, living where married people live is totally different because if you find somebody that also had children that were out of the house or non or whatever,
right.
I mean, it wouldn't be a family area. You'd have somewhere like we don't have our own badass life with some nightlife and fun stuff. And
also, you could and let me back up a smidge. There's other things that you could do. You could just be more social.
Yeah.
In the environment that you're in. But that's up to you. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be. Rich was on Tinder, so you could keep building that equity, and you can come to trivia night, and you could do things, and you could do all those things. But again, I get it. Like walking into those situations, being the fucking 45-year-old single guy is not always the best opportunity.
I just went to Jessica's birthday party Saturday night, and I was the only single guy there, and everyone else was married and stuff. And I don't know, it just was like,
I'll tell you something about going to.
So if you move to an area, you're going to be in an area where there are more single
singles.
people.
But also, if you keep going to shit like that, people break up all the time. So you can scout, like, you can be like, just Facebook friend their fucking wives or their fucking girlfriends and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There was some hot wives there.
And then you're like, I know they're going to get divorced. And then you just sit there, and then you just pick up the pieces, Rich. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that's an interesting thing. I mean, again, for me, it's kids. It's if Casey and I didn't have children, I mean, I would not want to live where we live. There's no reason to.
Right.
There really isn't. I mean, we would.
Where would you live?
In the thick of shit. I mean, I don't know.
Denton.
If we were staying in Texas, yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
Or Austin.
Probably Austin, actually.
Don't move because this drive's already crazy enough.
But I mean, I don't know if it was like, hey, let me go work my ass off for 5 years and then let's retire to the lake. Would be Nashville.
Yeah, we always said we're gonna be like white trash lake people.
Yeah, I mean, if I went to LA and if I really, really focused and just did voice shit and writing songs and stuff,
okay.
In 5-10 years, I could retire, and that'd be that. But you know, I'd take a pay cut to live here because I don't get hired because I fucking live here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to live in LA for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a time. So she would go a week and a half on, a week. I'm just kidding. But anyway, it is what it is. I think you ought to fucking think about. Couldn't you just rent your place out now?
I could.
And then continue to pay, and you could probably charge more than the mortgage, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you could actually make money on that and go down and
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Good thinking. 5-minute walk to the office sounds pretty fucking good, dude. That's what I'm saying. I love when we get into real life shit on this podcast.